The first time I was molested, I was 13. It happened on the last row of a bus in Malaysia. When I felt my uniform riding up my right thigh, I didn't think much of it. I thought the bumpy bus had shifted my skirt, so I shrugged it off and went back to sleep. But it happened again, and I felt cold fingers brush my skin. I saw a man looking at me through the window reflection and scooted over to my classmate, praying the bus driver would drive faster. The harassment didn't stop there. The creep began to gauge my arrival time at the bus stop every morning and followed me closely for 6 months. My friend tried to protect me, but one day he was absent from school and I ended up alone with the creep again. This time he positioned himself to stand in front of my seat. Every time passengers boarded the bus, he'd lean forward and press his crotch into my face. It got to the point where I could feel his jeans on my cheek.
Once I went out partying with a large group to celebrate a friend's birthday and wore a swishy dress. I was having a good time until someone decided to put his hand under my dress. A hand cupped my entire right butt cheek and gave it an extremely firm squeeze. Before I could turn around and punch the guy in the face, he was gone. Another time, a guy tried to grind his erect penis against my back, despite me repeatedly shoving him away. He only backed off when I yelled at him and threatened to call security.
When I was 18, I was almost raped by a trusted male friend. Frozen in position, his hand was on my neck. From the corner of my eye, I could see a middle-aged lady with her young son. I tried gesturing for help with my eyes. She caught a glimpse of what was happening and judged the situation to be inappropriate for her son, covered his eyes, and left with a tisk. I ran to the nearest police station. When the officer on duty saw how big-sized I was, he dismissed my case. "Are you sure?" he repeatedly asked me. After a while, I simply gave up. I returned home and my heart sank. Why wouldn't anyone believe me?
The first time it happened was in broad daylight along a brightly lit stairwell near my house. He wasn't being violent. I just know it hurt me. But he would be so reassuring. He'd say, "It's okay, it's alright." The abuse only stopped when my parents discovered my abuser had asked one of my sisters inappropriate questions. They took me aside and questioned me, where I reluctantly brought the truth to light. My parents did not think twice. They immediately filed a police report and took him to court. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison and 14 strokes of the cane.
But because I was still an 8-year-old child, I didn't fully understand what had happened to me. I didn't even know what he did was wrong. I was only in grade 4 when I understood something bad had happened. My health education teacher taught me what molesting and rape was, and I realized someone had touched me against my will. I just remember feeling scared, angry, and helpless. It's a whole range of emotions that you feel, and you just feel like you can't breathe. And at that moment, I lost my innocence.
To cope with my pain, I picked up Indian classical dance. With each hour I spent moving across the wood-varnished floor of the dance studio, I gradually learned to appreciate my body. Through dancing, I found joy and purpose and began the long road to recovery. When I submitted a picture essay on the relationship between my body and sexual abuse, I struck a silent bargain. If the entry won me a scholarship, I would share my story with the world.
This is my body right now. This is where I accept that it has survived a great deal of trauma. I will find balance and strength in knowing that my body is mine and that taking care of it has been long overdue. It's still not too late to start. After all, this is a body that survives. Like what one of Rupi Kaur's poems says, "Here you are, living despite it all."